After 60, what older men truly feel after intimacy isn't what most women imagine. Ladies, let's start by dismantling a common and rather dangerous illusion we often hold. We like to believe that after being intimate, men lie there thinking about us as if we were the lead in some overly sentimental soap opera, pondering whether we are their other half or feeling some deep soulful connection. The truth is, that's mostly a projection from the female perspective. The moments right after intimacy often mean something very different. It's when he becomes emotionally open, neurologically bonded, and quietly vulnerable in ways he may never admit. Most women miss it entirely, but these quiet moments can actually determine the depth of love he feels for you. Welcome back to Journey After 60. In today's video, I want to reveal what men over 60 rarely speak aloud, the 5 things they truly feel and think after being intimate with you. Understanding these secrets doesn't just keep his attention, it nurtures a connection that makes love after 60 vibrant, lasting, and deeply meaningful. Before we dive in, take a moment to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel, where we explore the hidden truths about men, women, and romance in the later years of life. Now, let's step into the first truth. I'm certain that many of you ladies will be genuinely surprised by what I'm about to reveal. Number 1. The truth about the male brain after intimacy. The male brain operates very differently in the moments immediately following intimacy. Understanding this isn't about making you feel hurt, it's about helping you make wiser choices in love after 60. Do you know what really happens in a man's brain right after orgasm? His prolactin levels spike significantly. Prolactin is the hormone that brings a sense of satisfaction and fullness, much like after a hearty meal when all you want to do is lean back and relax. That's why many men often fall asleep or enter a temporary quiet state afterward. This has nothing to do with being indifferent toward you, it's purely a biological response. But here's the fascinating part. While his body rests, his subconscious kicks into gear. His brain starts evaluating whether the experience offered emotional value. This is where many women misinterpret what's happening. I remember Brenda, a 60-year-old woman who came to me feeling completely disheartened. After losing her husband 10 years earlier, she had finally dared to date again. But just 6 months in, the man she cared for began to pull away. She said, "I thought after our first night together we'd feel closer. Everything felt wonderful. He said sweet things. But after that night, he started to withdraw." I explained something that completely changed her perspective. Men do not process intimacy the same way women do. Their reptilian brain, the primal part responsible for survival, unconsciously asks, "Does this woman present a challenge, or have I already conquered her? Is this valuable, or simply too easy to obtain?" I'm not justifying this mindset, I'm explaining how it works so you can act wisely within it. It may seem unfair, but this is biology and evolution at play. If a man feels he conquered you too quickly, his unconscious interest may diminish. Not because you lack value, but because his primal brain places higher worth on what requires effort. This doesn't mean you should play hard to get. The key is this: your value isn't tied to whether intimacy happens early or later, but how you position yourself emotionally, before, during, and especially afterward. After intimacy, focus on showing your completeness and wholeness rather than seeking validation. If you rush to ask, "How do you feel?" or show anxiety, you may inadvertently trigger the male brain's alert system, signaling dependence. But when a woman is fully present, loving, and secure without clinging, it naturally generates respect. His subconscious says, "This woman doesn't need me to feel whole. She chooses to be here because she wants to, not because she relies on me." And remember, emotional autonomy is not the same as coldness. A woman who is emotionally grounded can still be gentle, loving, and present, but she doesn't measure her worth by the outcome of the moment. At this stage in life, we've lived long enough to know that true value comes not from someone else's validation, but from the peace and completeness we cultivate within ourselves. This leads us to something powerful that most women don't realize. The moments immediately after intimacy are not about words or declarations. They're about presence, touch, and the quiet signals that make him feel valued and safe. Number 2. The power of post-intimacy closeness. For many men, what they crave most isn't just the moment of intimacy itself, it's the feeling of closeness and connection that follows. From a young age, many men are taught that asking for affection or expressing a need for emotional connection is a sign of weakness. They grow up believing that initiating a hug or a gentle touch somehow undermines their masculinity. So, even as adults, and especially in later life, many men quietly wait, hoping their partner will create the space for those tender moments. This is why voluntary, unprompted closeness can have such a profound impact on their hearts. When a woman naturally rests her head on his chest or wraps her arms around him without a word, it sends a powerful message: "I'm here, not out of obligation, but because I want to be." Such small, intentional gestures have the ability to melt years of conditioned restraint, allowing a man to breathe, to relax, and to feel emotional safety in a way he rarely experiences. Modern research confirms that even a simple touch can lower stress hormones, reduce blood pressure, and soothe the nervous system. But beyond the science, there's a deeper truth. These moments make a man feel desired, not just for the physical act, but for who he truly is. They remind him that his worth isn't measured by performance or achievement, but by his very presence and authenticity. Consider the decades of pressure a man carries to remain strong, to hide vulnerability, to bear responsibility for his family, to conceal every crack or soft spot. When you choose to embrace him in these quiet moments, something profound shifts. He's reminded that he can let down his guard, even if just for a fleeting instant. He's desired not only for his strength, but for his softness and authentic self. And I want to ask you, have you ever witnessed a man soften completely after a voluntary, unprompted hug from you? Share your story in the comments. It might inspire and uplift another woman navigating the same journey. At this stage in life, we've lived long enough to know that lasting love isn't built on grand gestures, but on these small, quiet moments. Voluntary closeness acts as a bridge. It tells him he's free, free to be vulnerable, free to be needed, and free to be loved unconditionally. And it is within that freedom that true connection blooms, heartbeat by heartbeat, arm in arm, making love after 60 deeper, gentler, and more enduring than ever. After those tender moments of connection, many men silently seek one thing: acknowledgement, a sense that what they've shared with you matters, that they've made you feel valued and fulfilled. Number 3. The power of small affirmation. Did I make you happy? Did you know that one of the deepest, most persistent concerns men carry, even after decades of marriage, is this silent question: did I truly make her happy? It may sound surprising, but it's a worry that lingers quietly in their minds. Passion may ebb and flow over the years, but the need to know that they still bring joy and meaning to their partner never fades. Men rarely voice this concern, yet it simmers beneath the surface. I once spoke with David, a man in his 60s who had been married for over 30 years. He confessed that after moments of intimacy, he sometimes lay awake, wondering whether his wife truly felt satisfied. One evening, she simply looked him in the eyes and said, "I feel so connected to you right now." He described how those words washed over him like a cool stream, dissolving doubt and making him feel not just physically present, but deeply valued on an emotional level. Men don't need flowery compliments. What they crave most is simple, sincere affirmation. "You make me happy," or "I feel so close to you." These small words hold immense power. They confirm that they still matter, are appreciated, and that their love continues to bring joy. Psychologists note that men often measure their self-worth by the positive impact they have on others. And as they age, when careers recede and social roles shift, intimacy becomes one of the last places where a man feels truly needed. A timely affirmation can restore confidence, reminding him that he is not forgotten, that he still contributes meaningfully to the relationship. For women over 60, these little affirmations can create profound shifts. They reassure your partner that the connection between you remains alive, that the years gone by haven't dulled the attraction but have deepened it. To you, it might be a simple phrase, but to him, it's an anchor, confirming that he is still desired, still loved. So the moments after intimacy are not just a conclusion, they become a quiet new beginning, a gentle reminder that love isn't only expressed through touch, but also through words of affirmation. What we share still matters. Each reassuring statement is like a flame, continuing to burn brightly despite the passage of time. Small affirmations matter, but lasting connection often lives in the private, repeated acts that only the two of you understand. Number 4. When private rituals become the language of love. It's not always grand gestures that sustain a relationship. Often, it's the small, repeated actions that quietly weave two lives together. After intimacy, men rarely voice their feelings, but they deeply crave those subtle signs of connection. It could be a familiar gesture, a shared routine, or a secret code only the two of you understand. Something as simple as draping his shirt over a chair before bed, pouring him a glass of water without being asked, or offering a gentle touch unique to your relationship can speak volumes. From the outside, these acts may seem ordinary, but to him, they're proof that the love you give is unique and enduring. They remind him that love isn't just fleeting passion. It's found in the everyday moments that turn a house into a home. Psychologists call these emotional anchors. Repeated rituals create familiarity, security, and a private language of love. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul is dyed by the color of its thoughts." Similarly, love is dyed by its rituals. The consistency of your actions shapes how appreciated and safe your partner feels. This is especially true after 60, when life and routines can feel monotonous. A small shared ritual can breathe life into the ordinary. It whispers to him that, despite changes in your bodies or circumstances, there remains a shared rhythm that no one else can touch. So pause for a moment and reflect. Do you and your partner share a little ritual or habit that no one else knows about? It might be a familiar glance across the table, an old tune you hum together, or a simple bedtime routine. These small, consistent acts are the threads that keep love vibrant. Ultimately, these subtle rituals are more than just habits. They are meaningful. They show that love isn't only in moments of passion, but in the gentle repetition of each day. And sometimes it's precisely these small actions that stay in the heart the longest. Number 5. Being desired, not just needed. I once heard a close neighbor share a story. After a quiet night with her husband, she leaned in and whispered, "I don't just need you, I want you." Later, she told me that her husband admitted those few words lifted a weight off his shoulders he didn't even realize he was carrying. For years, he had believed that his role in her life was primarily tied to responsibility, usefulness, and reliability. But in that moment, he realized something deeper. He was not just needed, he was still desired. There is a profound difference between being needed and being wanted. Being needed can feel like a duty, a responsibility you cannot avoid. Being wanted, however, is entirely different. It's a voluntary choice, a yearning that comes from love rather than obligation. For a man, especially after 60, this distinction can change everything. Philosopher Erich Fromm once wrote, "Immature love says, 'I love you because I need you.' Mature love says, 'I need you because I love you.'" This perfectly captures what men crave in later life. They want to know that their presence is not only useful, but actively chosen and desired. The signs of being wanted are subtle yet powerful. A glance across the room, a spontaneous touch without reason, or a gentle move closer to share intimacy. These aren't obligatory acts. They are expressions of desire. For many older men, this feeling acts like a balm, easing the fear that they have become invisible or irrelevant. Research shows that feeling truly desired strengthens emotional bonds far more than simple gratitude. Gratitude says, "I appreciate what you do." Desire says, "I want you, the real you." And in that difference lies the fire that keeps intimacy alive. For women, expressing this can be as simple as letting him see the spark in your eyes, or communicating through soft whispers and gentle touches that you still want him, not just need his help or stability. In this acknowledgement, a man feels fully alive. He knows that his love is not only appreciated, but actively, passionately desired. As we've explored today, love after 60 is filled with subtle dynamics that many women may not realize. From understanding the male brain's response after intimacy to offering voluntary closeness, small affirmations, private rituals, and expressing true desire, each of these elements deepens connection and reinforces emotional intimacy. The truth is, it's not the grand gestures that sustain love in later life. It's the quiet, consistent acts of presence, affirmation, and desire that make a relationship thrive. Men over 60 long to feel emotionally safe, valued, and wanted. By recognizing these needs and responding thoughtfully, you create a love that is richer, more resilient, and profoundly fulfilling. So take a moment to reflect on your own relationships. How are you showing your partner that he is truly desired? How are you nurturing those small, meaningful rituals that strengthen your bond? Even tiny actions, a glance, a touch, a whispered word can carry immense power. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. Your story may inspire another woman navigating love after 60. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more insights into relationships, intimacy, and connection in the later years. Remember, love after 60 is not about trying harder. It's about understanding deeper. It's about presence, respect, and genuine desire. When you embrace these truths, intimacy becomes not just physical, but a bridge to emotional closeness, lasting trust, and joy that continues to grow year after year. Thanks for watching my video, and see you in the next video.